What is up, Light Fam? Welcome to another video. My name is David, your spiritual awakening coach, here to help you through your spiritual awakening. Now, as a spiritual awakening coach, one of the main things that I help my clients with is self-love. I would even go as far to say the spiritual awakening journey is the journey back to self-love. Love is the gateway to understanding your oneness to and as source consciousness, because the dominant frequency of source consciousness is love. So if love is so all important, why do so many people struggle with loving themselves? Well, today we're not only going to discuss self-love obstacles, Light Fam, but we're going to show you how to bust through those self-love obstacles so that you can love yourself and then live life as your greatest version. Well, let's get into this fascinating topic right now. Let's go. Self-love obstacles. Number one, not understanding your definition of love. I'm always telling you guys to know thyself. And this is why getting still, going within, and doing the introspection is so important on your spiritual journey. You've got to know what something means to you specifically in order to share the same harmonious vibrational space with it. So try this exercise. Sit down with a notebook, maybe you've got a journal or a Word document, and make a list of what love is to you. And then next to each what love is statement, write out an explanation as to why that's what love is to you. Next, I want you to make a list of how you show love to other people. Then I want you to stop and compare those two lists and see, are you showing love to yourself the way that you show love to other people? When you compare those lists, there might be some discrepancies there. Like fam, there might be some discrepancies, but it's those discrepancies that help you physically improve how you show love to yourself. Another way to bust through those self-love obstacles is to understand your love language. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are very familiar with the 5 love languages. So words of affection, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and physical touch. Now, these love languages are usually used to enhance a relationship by understanding your partner's love language. Well, what about your own damn love language? And speaking that language to yourself. Give yourself some words of affection. Give yourself some quality time. Give yourself some gifts. You can only give love when you are loved. So love yourself first. That's your responsibility. And this also weans you off of chasing after love outside of yourself, which just devalues you in the eyes of your subconscious. Remember, the subconscious is always watching and taking notes. Self-love obstacles. Number 2, feeling guilty or unworthy of loving yourself first, or even loving yourself in general. So this would be feeling guilty of putting your needs first, feeling unworthy of putting your mental health and happiness first. Basically, the belief that sacrificing yourself for others equals love. Now, this is usually childhood programming. So if you had parents that shunned you for putting your needs first, then at that age, your ego equated sacrifice to survival. Or maybe at a very early age, you had to take on the role of caretaker due to absentee parents, or maybe you had to take care of an ailing parent at a very young age. You may have subconsciously programmed yourself to believe sacrificing yourself for others equals love. So, of course, that's going to follow you into adulthood, into your romantic relationship. So you want to take a look back at childhood and see what you may have carried into adulthood. This brings awareness to how you love yourself, and awareness is the first step to changed behavior. Self-love obstacles. Number 3, not having a daily self-love practice. What do you do daily to show yourself love, Light Fam? If this is not a question that you have pondered, then chances are you're probably not prioritizing self-love as a daily practice. It can literally be as easy as looking yourself in the eyes in a mirror and saying, I love you. Self-care is another form of self-love. How are you caring for yourself? Are you eating right? Are you getting enough sleep? Do you have some form of physical exercise? Do you have a creative release? Are you staying hydrated? That's a big one. Protecting your vibe is an act of self-love. Are you staying away from negative people and gossipers? Have you turned off the freaking news yet? Get that trash out of your conscious awareness and create your own reality, not the reality that the Matrix wants you to believe. Now, getting still, getting mindful and present in meditation is a form of self-love because it drastically reduces your anxiety, which obviously is great for your mental health. But it also helps you to stay grounded when life can get a bit crazy at times. Self-love obstacles. Number 4, not understanding that you are a fractal of source consciousness. Now, this can get a bit controversial, especially if you're indoctrinated with a bunch of religious programming. But what better way to comprehend your own value and worth than to understand that you are an extension of source, God, whatever label you want to put on it. You know, it amazes me how many people say, God is all things. And I say, yeah, including you. Oh, wait a minute now. Hang on. Oh, that's blasphemy. Don't say that. We might get struck by lightning. My apologies. Then God is not all things. Whoa, now wait a minute. I didn't say that, you know. And then you can hear the gears grind and the smoke come out of the ears. Let me break it down to you like this. You and I have self-awareness, meaning we can deeply contemplate questions like, who am I? Where did I come from? What's the nature of my existence? What's my role in the universe? What's the nature of the universe? In my opinion, these are not questions that the lower animals are contemplating. I just don't think that dogs are sitting around asking, questions about the nature of the universe. Why? Because they don't have that level of self-awareness. So if God is the original self-awareness, what is the motivation of self-awareness? To know thyself. What better way to know thyself than to know what you are not, to experience your contrast? So if God is non-physical, wouldn't fractalizing into different aspects of the physical in order to know thyself through contrast make a whole lot of sense? So if you are a fractal of source consciousness that is getting to know itself through physical contrast, meaning you are a unique point of source consciousness localized in your physical avatar, then you couldn't be more valuable. If that's who you really are, there's no way you could be more valuable. You couldn't even try to be more valuable. And once you understand this, you no longer find it difficult to love yourself because now you identify as the physical embodiment of love itself. All right, guys. So remember, deeply contemplate what love means to you specifically, not someone else's definition or a generic definition. You got to know what it means to you specifically. And don't forget to make that list. Also, understand your own love language and then speak that language to yourself. Have a daily self-love practice and also understand your actual identity as a fractal of source consciousness, having a temporary physical experience, and you will have self-love obstacles no more. Well, we might need to throw a little bit of shadow work in there as well, but that's a different video. All right, guys, time for question of the day. What is your daily self-love practice? Share with us in the comments below, Light Fam, so that we can all learn from one another. Now, if you need some help with getting your self-love back in alignment with your divinity where it should be, and you probably need some help with some shadow work as well, we can work one-on-one through Zoom. Check the description below for that. If you have a question for me, add me over on the grams _lightways. Until next time, I will see all of you beautiful souls in the next video. Light, love, and abundance to all that are watching and to all you love. Peace, guys.